What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build for the first time in Chapter 5. If you guys haven't seen any of these videos from me before, basically I'm going to watch people, and as they play the game, kind of talk about what I would do in their situation, the things they're doing right, the things they're doing wrong, and how they should play the game if they want to, you know, win. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, and comment down below what you think about Chapter 5. We're over a weekend at this point. It's definitely grown on me. I think for most days this season, I've enjoyed it more than the day prior. So that's good. It's just a lot changed. We're going to be going fencing fields this game because it is a mythic location, and I kind of want to talk about, you know, some tips for potentially playing out these boss locations. The first one is that I feel like it's pretty hard to just rush these bosses in solos, at least. Like, people typically aren't going to eliminate the boss immediately, so I feel like you shouldn't really feel pressed to like land right on the boss. I feel like the bosses have like a second stage with their HP where once their shield is broken, they'll regen their health, or they'll regen their shield and spawn more guards, and that makes it take longer to kill the boss. So like I was saying, I feel like you don't have to feel as pressured to just rush the boss. In some past seasons when the boss was easier to kill, you did kind of have to worry about someone just like eliminating the boss real quick and then getting the mythic. But with these bosses, I feel like you could, you know, play a bit safer, play maybe on like the more of the outside of the POI, work your way in, eliminate the other players, eliminate the guards in the area, and then eliminate the boss after that. You will always kind of have to worry about third parties coming in. That's just kind of the way things are. And for some reason at fencing fields, I feel like there's always like so much AI in the fields itself. I'm not really sure why that is the case. He's trying to get these flow berries because these give 10 shield each, which is one of the nice things about fencing fields, is that there is a lot of flow berries here for like natural shields. But for some reason, like, those things take forever to break. And to be honest, I don't even know if there's a way to get it without breaking it. I hate farming those things. He's trying to find this chest that's above him, and there are footsteps nearby, but one of the confusing things about these areas is like you'll always be hearing footsteps, and it can be rough to determine whether or not it's guards. It sounds like this is a real person though, just with how much they're moving around. He doesn't have the best weapons at the moment, unfortunately. He just has 2 ARs. The guy's behind him. This should be a kill still though. Maybe not. GG's. I thought the player that we were spectating was gonna win that fight just because the ARs this season are so brutal. But Raw Dog Ryan ended up coming out on top with the auto shotgun. They have full shockwaves already. They have no shield as well though. This area loops back, so he could turn right and then go up a staircase, and then he's gonna be in the boss room. And you see that health bar there? Someone is fighting the boss. But again, like I said, you don't need to be in a huge rush because that person's barely damaged the boss's shield if we are seeing the most updated version of the health bar. And so like it's still gonna be a while before they eliminate the boss. And one thing that you want to keep in mind with these bosses, like I said, is once you break their shield, they kind of go into an animation where they summon more guards and regenerate their shield. So you want to make sure the shot that breaks their shield, you have ammo ready to keep shooting them during that animation, because you can shoot them during that animation and get some HP damage on them while they're in that animation. So this is kind of annoying for this for Ryan that we're spectating, because this other person is just kind of playing off a riot shield. And that is, I recently made a video about how to beat riot shielders or stop losing to them. This is one of the most like awkward scenarios to deal with a riot shielder, I think, because the riot shielder is just playing inside the house, not really giving Ryan angles, and he basically has to choose to like go in with no early damage, basically, you know, raw dog it, and that's not great. I feel like you definitely want to get early damage on the riot shielders and not just like go on them when they're like 250 health. And also Ryan himself isn't very healthy. So I don't like this, but it's kind of like, what can they do? They probably need to just back up and find shield. Unfortunately, they keep running into the boss. Like, ideally for them, the boss and the guards would start fighting the riot shielder, and then maybe he could get like the drop on the riot shielder and get the kill that way. That's not the person he's looking for. That Peter Griffin is not the one with the riot shoulder. It's a Trailblazer skin, I think is the name of that skin. It's one of the, I think it's the last Twitch Prime skin. And this is like worst case scenario. The bosses are shooting him in the back. Riot shoulder might have died there though. Yeah, I think Peter Griffin killed the riot shoulder, but it doesn't matter. Ryan is going to be eliminated by Doug Slimadome with the Peter Griffin skin. He's Doug Slimadome, owner of the, I don't know, Demsel Slimadome. Is he gonna fight the boss or no? See, this is like perfect scenario for this Peter Griffin because like the area is clear, all the other players are eliminated, only the boss is left, most of the guards are eliminated, I think. So like this should be an easy like cleanup kill for this Peter Griffin. But he just wants to get big pots first, I guess, which, you know, you're wasting gold doing that, but it's really not that big of a deal. I feel like it's relatively easy to get gold this season. And at this point in time, there's not much to spend it on, just vending machines and attachments. Seemingly, augments will be coming to the game. And then, you know, there will be more for you to spend your gold on then. I'm not sure what he's doing. This is like my least favorite thing to happen when I'm doing these spectating videos is someone just starts like emoting because they see the spectator, but like the spectator is me. It's not the person they eliminated, you know? The person that we were spectating before that died to this Peter Griffin, I think one of the things they should have done is potentially just get more health from all like the flow berries in the area. But if you're gonna third party that fight, make sure you third party it like when the person just got done fighting. They were kind of like late to third party that fight, and the Peter Griffin had done a decent job of like moving over to that other room and then looking back at where they were, where the third party would be coming from. Another thing that he just did good was he had a gun ready to shoot when that lady was in her animation like I was talking about, and that made it much easier for him to eliminate her. Unfortunately, he's just running straight at a sniper, so GG's. He needed to go back to where that bookshelf was, the staircase we saw the player go up earlier, to get into the vault. And that's kind of the downside, I feel like, of him doing what he did with like the vending machine and the big pots. And this is like super hindsighty. But if he just eliminated the boss without getting those big pots, and then he could have had the medallion to heal, he might have had better timing than like playing it super slow, getting those big pots, you know, healing up that way. And then, you know, it seems like the timing was perfect just for this player to get the elimination. Also, it seemed like he didn't know where the vault was, because I'm not sure why he would not want to get the vault. The loot in it isn't really anything special. I think it's like a guaranteed legendary chest, regular chest. The fencing fields vault, I think, is the only one where you can break the floor on. But it also gives you access to the workbench, which will allow you to customize the attachments on your weapons. This person is like overly concerned about the footsteps they heard, but it was the guards. But either way, this will allow you to put attachments on your weapon. Or like at least customize the attachments on your weapon, which may or may not matter to you. I've been asked a bunch, like, do you value attachments or rarity? It really depends on the weapon. So this drum shotgun, I would really like to have the speed mag on this. That's the thing I care most about. It's just that my auto shotgun has the speed mag instead of the drum because it takes super long to reload. So I really want speed mag on that. If I had like a green one and I found a purple one with a drum and I'm not able to get to a workbench, would I take the purple one? Probably, yeah. The thing I care most about the attachments on is just going to be the sniper though, because I really like having the 2x sight. I'm decently sure it doesn't have glint for the 2x. Like, I've had times where I fought somebody who didn't have glint and then I picked theirs up and it was a 2x. So I'm decently sure the 2x has no glint. But either way, that's not really something I'm concerned about very much. I just like the 2x, and I feel like my aim is better with the 2x than the other scopes personally. So I care a lot about that. And then also, I really like having angled foregrip on my sniper. The faster ADS is nice. So I would take any sniper rarity if I'm able to get those attachments. Like if I put those attachments on a blue one, there's a player on that roof. I don't really know what he's doing. But if I put those attachments on like a blue sniper and then I find a gold one, I don't really care. The sniper rarity isn't the biggest deal to me. You get like a little bit of extra damage on the body shot, but like either way, it's an insta kill to the head. So just not that concerned about sniper rarity. I just care about attachments. And then AR, I can kind of like take it or leave it. I'm not like overly concerned about attachments, but I'm not overly concerned about rarity either. So that's kind of my thoughts on the attachments. GG's sniper v sniper fight, and they lose it. And I believe this player has the 2x scope, and I don't think the player we were watching saw glint versus them. So I think that kind of just proves what I was saying. It looks like they have the 2x on their weapon here. You can kind of see the attachment on the inventory. I'm pretty sure it's the 2x scope. But I don't think they have glint. I would have to like watch it back and see. And that's just kind of the nature of snipe fights. Sometimes this season, some you lose, some you win. That player that we were spectating was just kind of peeking the same angle over and over again. And if that's what you're doing, you know, you're basically gambling your life on the fact that you hit a shot. Like eventually one of them is going to hit a shot, you know? And that's, I do it too. Sometimes it just kind of is what it is. It's like one of those things that like we all do it, but like in the moment you're like, yeah, that was a mistake, you know? But you just do it anyways. So one thing I don't like about this is that this player has 4 guns. who knows if that's what they're going to run with, but I feel like the striker AR is like a decent hybrid between an SMG and an AR. Like it can kind of fill both ranges or both roles just fine, I think. And then that would allow this player to carry, you know, something else like the grapple blade or shockwaves if they find those. They might, you know, do that given the option and just haven't found those items yet. That's possible. And there is another medallion player coming towards them. You see that circle on the minimap getting closer and closer. There is another medallion player probably getting close. Unless the minimap is bugged. That circle is getting here fast. I would really like for this player to have gotten a car. I feel like this is like a type of thing you just want to avoid this season. Is just like walking around out in the open. Like sure, there are trees and cover and stuff. But like the more you're doing this, I feel like the worse off you're going to be this season. Because of how prevalent snipers are. I think the last two players that we've watched have both gotten eliminated by snipers. And just like the more you're walking around like this, the more you can get sniped. I'm not really sure what's going on. There's several people here. Is the stormtrooper just invisible? That person is like very tunnel vision on whatever they were just fighting. I feel like if you're him, you want to third party this. Because when like somebody's shooting the auto shotgun like that, this is like kind of the nature of high fire rate shotguns anyways, like always in Fortnite. But it's like pretty rare that someone's shooting an auto shotgun and they get a kill cleanly. It's like almost always the winner of that fight takes some amount of damage. Not always, but if you hear like both players shooting like an auto shotgun or like one person shooting an auto shotgun and one shooting an SMG, so like the auto shotgun rarely gets killed cleanly. So like, those are like ideal situations for you to third party. And the other player that was previously involved in that should have been aware of that. And so this player should get third partied. We'll see. The person that we were spectating, that stormtrooper, I don't know why they just stayed on their pump there. I don't know if they sprayed out both their SMG and their AR, and then that's why they had to like stick with the pump, but they didn't swap to their spray weapon at all during that. And if you're going to play like that, like if you just want to shoot your shotgun and not worry about swapping, you might as well be using an auto shotgun. And you saw this player, not only did they hit their shots, but I think they swapped somewhat well, and then just that stormtrooper died very quick, despite having somewhat of an HP advantage because they shot this guy when they was in the car. So I think this player, just what we've seen so far, is like far and away the best one that we've spectated this game, and they probably will end up winning the match. I think they have 3 medallions. I can't tell if this is 3 or 2. But they have several medallions. They don't have a sniper, interesting. I think the snipers are very good, and like I kind of talked about before, I think the striker AR can be an SMG and an AR like together just fine, like it's just well in those ranges. And there we go, the auto shotgun. That sucks. That Zadie was like played well. I think it's just like this player kind of jumped over their head, and that was like a somewhat awkward fight. And the auto shotgun does what the auto shotgun does. Like if you just get that close to it, and the fight doesn't end with your pump shot, like it's a very easy thing to lose to. There are more medallions on the ground, I'm pretty sure, from that kill. I think shockwaves would have been better there. I feel like the grapple blade, like he hit a few shots on the person, but didn't want to grapple blade onto them. I feel like the grapple blade is weird to use. I'm not very used to it yet. But I think given shockwaves, they could have like gotten on them when this Lynx was like more like weaker, like on the back foot. Let's see if this person is going to go for all the medallions that they could possibly get. Seems like they just want to stick with the one, because there is another one there. Which is a play to make. I did make a video recently on the medallions and like kind of the idea behind how many you want to carry. I think 3 is kind of like the optimal amount to like get good healing and also not give away your location. Typically when I play, I just take all the medallions I can get, and by the time I've gotten all the medallions, I feel like I've eliminated most of the decent players in the lobby, so it's like not that big of a deal. But you see here, oh, he dropped the medallion. That is interesting. So this player is like very concerned about giving the location away. I don't think it's that big of a deal, the medallions, to like giving your location away. And I'll talk about that more in a moment. Like it kind of can, but it's just like I think people worry about it too much, especially in game, because like the zone is only going to be so big. Like look at like how much of zone this is. There's like a decent portion of zone, and when the storm closes, it'll be even smaller. I would really like for this storm to close just so I can kind of like make the point I'm trying to make. This person's gonna rat under the stairs like Harry Potter. We got 20 seconds. Do I want to switch players though? Important boat. I don't want to spectate important boat. Not even an AI though. Important boat was such an AI name, but they just like captured the point on an island. I don't think the AI do that. This person is just camping in a car. That's the strat of chapter 5, unfortunately. Okay, so this might be a situation where like the medallion giving away your location would matter. So like this one here, like you know that somebody is rotating in that way. But like you see how big this medallion is right here, the second one? If you put that in zone, it's like half the circle. Like knowing that somebody is in the circle, I feel like is not that big of an advantage. And that's why I'm not that concerned about the medallions. I also do tend to play pretty aggressively, so people are going to like somewhat know where I am anyways. But that's kind of my thought process with the medallions. It's such a large portion of zone for like 1 and 2, and even 3 in endgame will be a decent portion of zone. And that's one of the reasons why I think snipers are so good right now, is you just saw there how like inconvenient it was for this player to hit AR shots at that range with everything being projectile. I feel like at that range, it's really unlikely you're gonna kill anybody with your AR unless they just let you. So you might as well just be sniping in that range or just not fighting it. That I just sniped somebody. Is he camping in his car again? Let's check this links again. They're just camping in a bush. It's the rattiest end game ever. I think this might be the player with the medallion that we saw earlier. They have a good setup. And they have this pad. I like this. So they position themselves on this launch pad. Not only do they have this mountain, a lot of the mountaintops this season have launch pads on them. But they position themselves on this mountain. So not only do they have high ground, which is nice, but also they have this pad to rotate. And so if they hit that body, maybe they want to launch pad at that person. And I feel like you can make the plays with the launch pads a lot more this season, whether it's like the launch pads on the hills or like what the rifts on the island or the launch pads on the island. It's a lot easier to make plays with them now because of how bad the ARs are at range with them being projectile. Like it's much harder to beam people out of the sky this season. Or they could just pad into zone if they wanted to. So I don't like this. Like if I was in this player's shoes, they might just be checking and that's fine. But you see they didn't get zone here. They're on this mountain. I would want to like wait until storm is on my back and then pad into zone. And then probably pad to this mountain. I think that would be the safe play. Or you wait until storm is on your back, because as this circle like closes towards him, this new area is going to start opening up. So he could just wait until like the last possible second before the storm's about to be on him, and then pad into Pleasant Piazza, and is it Pleasant Plaza or Pleasant Piazza? Either way, he could do that, and you're probably not going to get beamed out of the air because of how like just the projectile nature of the ARs. And also you're going to get that new area, because like getting into here as soon as it opens up is going to be good for you. And there's only 2 players left, so he could win the game on this zone. But with how they're playing, I don't think the game is going to end on this zone. And when it's a 1v1v1 like this, like fighting is typically the worst thing you can do. It's not really fighting, he's just taking snipes at people. But yeah, I wouldn't be playing to end the game here. I would just want to see, this is what I was talking about. You see like this new area is opening up, so he could pad into that and get into that first. Whereas like walking here, not only is it's going to take longer, but he's more exposed. And, you know, snipes are very problematic this season. And again, we can look at the circles. You see how large the medallion circle is? It's basically the size of zone. Like, you know somebody's in circle? Cool. I don't know where the other player is, but he's like very tunnel vision on the player that he had previously seen in the van. Okay, this is perfect for him. He got zone. So all he wants to do now is just play this mountain, I would think. Or what is zone? Okay, this mountain didn't get zone. Never mind. I thought it went up the hill. This player's medallion is kind of griefing them. They know there's a player rotating on this side of zone, kind of probably going to come in over here. Like the area of the medallion is almost less useful than just like the direction it's moving at this point in the game. They rotated in early. This could be good. It could be bad. I feel like this is a zone that you probably don't want to rotate in early for. This is also why I think you would really want to have a car, Because having a car in this zone, like, sure, you give away your location, but you have constant cover and you can get around quickly and just limit the amount you get sniped. If you want to win this season, I think the biggest thing you could do is just limit the amount you get sniped. Like, how many people have we seen in this game just get sniped? And there's still another player. This isn't the only one. He has to be worried about, like, his other directions. And it gets better, I think, as Storm closes. Like, he probably won't have to worry about as much of, like, this angle over here. But this is rough. Oh, gosh. This is why I would like to have big pots with my medallion. Because, like, sure, he's going to get this off. But look at how his HP is. He's only at 30 shield. If he could drink a big pot right now, he would be, like, full HP very, very soon. Because he would have the medallion ticking and the shield pot drinking. It works out good for him. He doesn't get third-partied. But if this other player was, like, more aggressive with their third-partying, they just auto-win the game. Like, the person that we're currently spectating should not be winning this match now. Alright, GG's. That was close. But that Lara Croft really threw. If they just drove the car straight at them, like I said, if you hear two people shooting auto shotguns, it is very unlikely the winner of that fight survives it healthily, especially like in a bush like that. It's just like a super scuffed fight. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more. Comment down below what you think of Chapter 5, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.